Another week.
We're going to try this again. We were going to make it nice and easy today, and then Zoom decided to take a crash. So we're back here. We're going to go through it one time. It's
no edits.
It's a crazy week. I do appreciate Paul taking the time. I know with your day job and everything going on, I was going to say thank you very much for this. I know it's a crazy time for people listening and you and just it's a nutso time right now.
It's hard to talk about football when everything's going on that's going on in the world today. I mean, what we saw, we're recording this on Thursday, and what we saw yesterday was just on Wednesday it was insane. There's just no need for this. There literally is no need for this. And it's like, this whole thing was like an attempted coup. It really was. And I don't want to get too political into it. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, my political leanings are pretty centrist. I'm pretty much in the middle. And these extreme fringes, that just kind of pull the poles apart and make everyone think one another is bad and evil. And it's just, that's not the way America is supposed to be. But I don't know what else to say, but other than let's just do things the right way. And let's try to find some healing. Let's try to come back together. So that being said, it's going to be hard to talk about football, but we got to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, just my one little note. I thank you all, so much for joining today, for choosing us, to come to for XFL stuff and kind of other nonsense. One of the podcasters I listen to a lot, Rob Cesternino, he does Survivor and Big Brother and, kind of all those reality shows that I watch. And he grapples with this a lot, talking about, podcasting about dumb TV shows. And, you need some escapes, right? You need some things that aren't just everything going on. And no matter what you're feeling right now, football and everything, it's an escape. We're going to talk about some nonsense today. We've got some good XFL stuff, some spring league updates, got a lot of stuff. So thank you for joining us. And we're going to do our part. I tweeted today, I said, I only know how to do two things in this world, and that's talk about XFL football and annoy Paul Sanchez. And I'm going to do my best to do both of those things today. So thank you very much.
You already did. Before we even started, I have this little Komoso device that my sister got me for Christmas, and it's supposed to calm me down. I had to use it today because I saw the Google Doc is 3 pages again, Reid.
We got lots of stuff. A couple quick notes. We are coming off. We're a podcast. People listen. We're on YouTube. People watch. Please subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, click the little button. But we are coming off our highest viewed episode ever last week, which was great. I know our Brian Scott interview did great audio listens. I was talking to Brian about that. We were messaging Merry Christmas and everything, but yeah, our most viewed YouTube video so far. So I really appreciate everybody. I got a great note from one of our fans, Kevin, this morning on Twitter. He was asking about the PJ Walker bootleg jersey we have coming. People ask about this stuff, Paul. I know, and Dorothy too. I'm sure, but who cares? I get lost in message. Where's the Jousters merch? Where's the PJ? Right. So I'm telling you, and I talked with Brian, so we got an update on that later in the show about the Jouster stuff. But people ask anyway. Kevin left a good note. He said he enjoys listening every week, and he said, just keep up the good work. I think he's in London, and then we did get 2 really nice reviews this week.
Good.
XFLshow.com/review. If you are a fan of what we do, XFL, TSL, we got fan-controlled football updates. Nom Creative, he said, fun for all football fans, fun banter with great hosts, along with great football insights. And then Jacked and Canned said, amazing show. This is where I go for all my XFL news. These guys are great. They keep the shows fun and engaging. Keep rocking. So thank you guys so much. If you're fans of the show, xflshow.com/review. Every day when I wake up to a new Rate This podcast, email notification that we got a review, it really does bring joy to my heart. So I appreciate it.
Good. That's good. So let's get into the meat of this and let's talk about stuff that's going on. Of course, one of the big stories is Taylor Heinicke playing. Did he play Sunday or no? He didn't. Or he might be. He might be rotated in Saturday is the word from Ron Rivera. Yeah, we hypothesized last week. I said Heinicke equals Washington, for the win, whatever my crazy podcast title was. And,
he did not play, and neither did the Philadelphia Eagles. So that was two things that happened on Sunday. Was Taylor Heinicke didn't play, and neither did Doug Peterson's Philadelphia Eagles.
I got a couple things to say about this. It feels like, Doug Peterson put in Nate Sudfeld, the third string quarterback in that game. And if Philadelphia had won, they had the 9th pick in the draft, and now they have the 6th pick. This looks like complete and utter tanking. This looks like they knew they were going to lose, and they just wanted a better draft pick. That's why they put Sudfeld in. And I don't know if you can find this, Reid, and maybe you can, and if you can, post it right here on this video. There was a moment where I believe they were going to kneel down. Alex Smith was, and did you see this?
Yeah, and the guy went for his leg.
One of the Eagles players went for Alex Smith's leg, and if you don't know about what Alex Smith has gone through to get back to this point, he almost died because of this leg injury. And then the guy tried to go for his flipping leg.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that. It was like
so Bush League.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of ugly all around. It was a bad look for the NFL on Sunday night. We watched, I was excited, but looking forward, I'm very excited to see what this Washington defense does against Brady. I think that Chase Young is coming for the GOAT, as he said. But honestly, Smith did not look good in the game for Washington. He looked very immobile. And the thought that Heinicke, please forgive me, Taylor took first reps yesterday and today for the football team for QB. So there's a very real possibility on Saturday night in prime time that we're going to see Taylor at least partially with the Washington football team, which would be crazy to see XFL player in a playoff. This is as big as it gets. I don't think you could get a bigger game for Taylor to potentially be starting or at least get some play time with Alex Smith.
And it's just so interesting too that Washington ended the season, and the way the playoffs are set up, division winners that have the worst records get division winners that have don't get the buys get to host a playoff game. So essentially, Washington with a losing record gets to host a playoff game. That's just crazy to me too.
Yeah, they were talking, not in good company with the Seattle Seahawks also winning the division with the losing record back in 2008 or whatever it was. But so it's crazy. I really thought this was all for naught. I really thought we did the episode last week. Taylor didn't start. Alex Smith is back. But Rivera said, he goes, there's a very real possibility we're going to be doing 50-50 or rotating at the very minimum. And like I said, he was out there today. I saw on Twitter he was taking reps. So.
Interesting. Dwayne Haskins, speaking of Washington football team, Dwayne Haskins has signed with a new management firm. Did you see this?
Yeah. So what was the name of it? Because then Greg Parks,
Goal line football.
Yeah. So the news came out. Dwayne Haskins, got let go from Washington football. All of that dropped. His parted ways with his management. He got lost. It's a terrible, no good, very bad day for Dwayne Haskins all around. And then when he signed with this new management firm, Greg Parks, who covers stuff for PW Torch Wrestling, and then he covers a lot of XFL over at XFLboard.com. He goes, oh, phew. For a second there, I thought I was going to have to follow like another startup football league because goal line sports or goal going football or whatever it is sounded like it was going to be,
Oh, gosh. We hope Dwayne gets back on his feet soon. There's going to be a lot of competition out there to get another starting quarterback. And, I don't know if Dwayne is going to get another chance as a starting quarterback or if he's going to have to play a backup for a while. Who knows? But hopefully he gets another shot soon.
Yeah, it's Mark Perry at Uyghur Review is talking, he might have to be going to the XFL, do a little rehab, do a little brand building, show that he can play ball. It didn't sound like he was super popular in Washington. Obviously, if Smith would have been healthy, we wouldn't have probably even had any of this come out. But, with the COVID stuff and everything, and we already talked about this last week with Ron Rivera, being immunocompromised. Not a good look for him. And, but yeah, Washington's in there, and all XFL guys are going to be watching, guys and girls, on Saturday night watching the Washington football game. So.
All right. So moving on to teams that didn't make the playoffs. What's going on in Carolina? What is happening there? Do we have any idea?
Well, I tell you this. So I got a lot of irons in the fire this week. We have no guests this week. There's craziness going on in the world anyway. It's probably for the better. We'll straight shot through this. I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I reached out to Sheena Quick. She covers Carolina Panthers, over at, please forgive me for her radio station that she works for. I can never remember. We'll look it up. Sheena's great. Sheena Quick covers Carolina Panthers. We've had her on the show multiple times talking about the whole PJ, Teddy, and all that. Do you have it, Paul?
1340 AM Fox Sports in Carolina.
Yes. And she has been, so ever since the season was done, they've been doing all these postseason press conferences with Matt Rule, PJ Walker. I guess to bury the lead, PJ did have some playing time again on Sunday. When Teddy Bridgewater got sat for the Saints-Panthers game, I think maybe PJ would have wished that he would have not been put in the game because he threw 3 interceptions and did not have a very good showing.
That was a bad showing for PJ. And, with that being said, we were sitting there going, are they going to give PJ an actual shot at this? And, they have Bridgewater next year. I've talked about it numerous times for a $20 million deal next year. And then I think 22 the next year after that. So they got a lot of money tied up in Teddy for the next couple of years. But now there's speculation that the Panthers might take a quarterback at number 8. What?
Yeah, there's a lot. And that's why I messaged Sheena. I said, hey, Sheena, it seems like Rule is really unhappy with Teddy. He said that he really needs to have a tremendous offseason between now and next year. They had signed this guy, Tommy Stevens, to the active roster as like a third-string quarterback. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on. I want to don't let me forget to talk about this Tom Barry Good Guy Award that PJ Walker won, or that Teddy Bridgewater won. But it just seems like not as all well. It does not look good for PJ that they're already thinking about going back to the draft. You have somebody there that's in the system that's with Rule. Paul seems perplexed.
Don't they have Will? They have Will Greer too, don't they?
Yeah, I don't. Something is very odd.
4 quarterbacks. They got 4 quarterbacks now. One on the what is happening?
Yeah. So I just because they said they go, but here to be fair, they bring PJ in on Sunday and three interceptions out of the game. I mean, so that's not a good look. PJ is responsible for 20, or I guess now 1 of 5 wins they had right for the season. So, it's not a good look, but I don't know if he's going to get let go. Rule seems like he's kind of in hot water over there too, right? It didn't seem like all was well with him and management. I know it's like his first year, and that would kind of be a shakeup. I mean, as far as we know right now, Rule is still signed on. There's a bunch of teams looking for head coaches, but I did message Sheena. I said, can you give any insight? She goes, I'm still working on it, but she'll come on, if anything else comes out about this, because not as all well in Carolina for PJ and Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, and there's no, if you're going to fire your head coach, you're going to do it now because you want to get out there and compete for the best coaches that are available. The name that needs to come up, the name that I need to talk about is Eric Bieniemy. Why he hasn't gotten a head coaching job yet is beyond me. The guy is this guy is so smart and and he played the game at the highest level. He's such a good coach, and I hope this time around he does get a gig because I was rooting for him to get the Colorado gig because he actually played at Colorado. He didn't get that, so I'm hoping that he gets a job this time. If the Panthers are going to make a move with their head coach, they need to do it yesterday because people are starting to interview. And you're going to have to be left with what's left over if you don't get rid of Matt Rule, if that's the situation. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, but they said, the tweet from Sheena was, Matt Rule says Bridgewater did not play his best football this year. I mean, he's really down on him. And so, but to be down on Teddy and then to be looking elsewhere when you got PJ and Will Greer, you're signing guys from signing guys to the active roster on speculation now with that Tommy Stevens. There's a lot of unrest going on, and it doesn't make me feel good for PJ Walker. No,
it doesn't make me feel good for Will Greer either. I mean, I if you're a quarterback in Carolina right now, you got to be wondering what's going on. Like, am I going to be here tomorrow or am I going to be here for 5 years? And that kind of uncertainty, I know it's a business. I get it. I understand. But that kind of uncertainty leads you to go, well, what should I be doing? I mean, should I be saving money? Always save money, but what should I be doing? Like this just doesn't send a good message to any quarterback from Teddy to Will it just doesn't send a message to any quarterback on this roster that any of you are the future.
No. It was funny though. This came out. Teddy Bridgewater is the winner of the Tom Barry Good Guy Award, given annually by the Riders chapter to the Panthers player whose qualities and professionalism helped media members do their jobs. I just thought that was funny, and maybe at some point we could give out the XFL Markcast Good Guy Award. Would you get? It's just the weirdest name, the Tom Barry Good Guy.
It's interesting to say the least.
But, Teddy seems like a good guy, but, he seems fragile. He seems like you said, he didn't play the best this year. If they take a QB in the draft, if you're Teddy Bridgewater, you're running for the hills. I mean, that is scary.
Yeah, you're asking for a trade. I mean, and I don't know, Teddy Bridgewater, they say he's a good guy. So maybe Teddy Bridgewater's like, okay, well, let me do, because a similar thing happened in San Diego where they drafted Eli Manning, and Eli Manning, who I still don't like. I know I have some Giants friends that I won't be happy with that statement because he led you guys to two championships. But Eli, of course, got drafted by the Chargers, then said that he was going to contact his lawyers and make sure that didn't happen. And they eventually ended up moving him to New York. And of course, New York drafted Phillip Rivers, and the rest is history. They had a situation there where they took Phillip Rivers eventually, and Drew Brees was their starter in San Diego. And they were like, oh, is this Drew Brees experiment over in San Diego, blah, blah, blah. And they let Drew Brees walk after 2 years. And look what happened. So I don't know, man. If Teddy's a good guy and Teddy's a stand-up guy, maybe Teddy, maybe they do draft another quarterback and Teddy becomes a mentor. Then at that point, you have to either release Will or PJ or maybe both. I don't know what's happening.
Isn't Aaron Rodgers all shook up too? Because they drafted the guy, right? They drafted.
And Aaron Rodgers is going to be the MVP of the NFL this year.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. They've been playing.
Aaron Rodgers was like, oh, you're drafting another quarterback? Let me show you why you don't draft another quarterback.
Yeah. What is it? 46 TDs and 45 punts for the year?
Yeah. He threw more TDs than they did kick punts. That's just an insane stat for the Packers.
Yeah.
And that's, people were worried about the Buccaneers. People are saying, oh, the Seahawks are still going to get the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I don't know, man. The Packers look good. Yeah. And Seattle's defense is finally starting to wake up a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it's a for sure thing. I think the Packers are the team to beat the NFC. Yeah, I do.
Seahawks struggled to put points up against San Francisco on Sunday. I think they're out. That was a horrible performance from the Seahawks.
All right. So moving on, another NFL team with a alternative football quarterback, the Rams with Wolford. Did you watch this?
I watched a little bit of it. I watched a lot of the highlights. Wolford came out through an interception in his first ever NFL pass, so that was not a good look. But I was thinking, I've seen a lot of Wolf puns this week. It was like the Wolford of Wall Street. I've seen all over. So I was thinking our episode should be Hungry Like the Wolford. I thought that was a good, I hate that song. I don't love Duran Duran, but yeah. Real Big Fish.
Oh, folks, this was fun.
all went to. But do you like that? Is that a good pun? Is that an original pun?
We'll dig it.
I don't think 2021 NFL press is doing the Duran Duran puns. I think the Wolford of Wall Street is a little more on. But anyway, he won. He won. Beat Chris Streveler, the CFL champion. Led the Rams and had Kyler Murray got hurt. Then they brought in Chris, and then Kyler came back out at the end. I mean, remember when the Murray MVP talk was going on about week 4?
That was never going to happen. I mean, yeah, that's the problem. Like Arizona fans there's not that many of them on the Cardinals bandwagon right now. But Arizona fans, it's like the Knicks fans right now. They're really annoying. They won 5 games now out of 8. And they're like, oh, we're 5-3. The Knicks are back. And I'm like, calm down. The Knicks aren't back. And it was like Arizona fans were like, oh my God, Kyler Murray, 5'5" Kyler Murray is, going to be in the MVP conversation. Look, the only reason they beat the Bills, right? I do believe the Cardinals did beat the Bills this year.
With the Hail Murray at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I mean,
But if it weren't, they said on there, if it wasn't for that Hail Murray, they would have been like 5 losses in a row. I mean, it was like, that was kind of the saving grace on all of that.
And that was, I think that's what got everyone excited about Kyler Murray, was that one play. And it's like, let's calm down. Let's calm down right now. I mean, it's not, I think Kyler's still got a lot to prove. He's definitely got some intangibles. He's got some great things that he's got about his game, but I think he's still got a lot to prove. So
it's an interesting note here from Rams Wire. By getting the start, Wolford became the first quarterback ever to make his first career start in Week 17 with his team's playoff hopes still alive. He threw for 231 yards and rushed for 56, which is something no player has ever done in their first career game. So he's the first quarterback to ever throw for at least 200 yards and rush for 50 yards in his first career game. That's not bad. Not bad for the AAF. We got the applause going. Not bad, AAF, Arizona Hot Shots, proven, like we talked about last week, proves the alternate football thing works. You keep these guys ready to go. And, you led the Rams to victory. I mean, the Rams are in the playoffs, there was a lot of other things with teams losing and whatnot, but in no small part because of him coming out there, throwing an interception and then shaking it off and then winning the game. So
let's hear from quarterback John Wolford after the game.
This is great.
But what was the moment like when you guys knew you'd won or you had the game put away and you're in the playoffs? Was the celebration or the congratulations any different today than it would be for any other game?
Well, I've never won a game, so I don't know what the normal congratulations feels like. So that's my first one, and I'll use that as a barometer and let you know if it changes.
That's it. I just thought that was funny. They're like, so what was the win like? Was it like, he goes, I've never won an NFL game before, Bob, so I don't really know.
And now they're talking about Wolford starting for Goff next this in the playoff game, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. So the word on the street, they asked Sean McVay. He goes, he'll have a decision. He hopes by 1:39 p.m. Pacific.
And how many seconds, Sean?
Saturday. Yeah, Sean's a wily guy. I like watching Sean. I like the Rams. I see a lot of Rams games. Being on the West Coast. I like them, and yeah, this is another thing where they could either be doing a flippy flop or split in time. Goff, his thumb is broken. This is not a good situation right now. He did not look great in the game against Seattle before he got hurt. I mean, the announcers were already kind of like crapping all over him before all that. And then he came out, broke his thumb. Maybe you just sit him for the rest of the year. I mean, I know they have like 100 million tied up in him, but it is interesting to see another kind of dual quarterback with the spring guy going into the playoffs.
Yep. Totally agree. So I'm sorry, I'm still scrambling because I had to reboot my computer right before we recorded this. So I'm still bringing up links as we continue. And I was just catching up on this Donald Parham situation.
Yeah. So here was my question for you. Is Parham, we're end of the regular season here. Is Donald Parham, he's with the Chargers. Is he the NFL MVP of the year?
No.
Like XFL, NFL MVP. You know what I mean?
No.
Who's the XFL MVP in the NFL?
It's still PJ.
You think it's PJ on one win and then 16 interceptions over Donald Parham?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, and Mike Mitchell makes the point for me is that Justin Herbert is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's in the bag. There's no debating this. Stop with the Kyler Murray talk. Stop with Kyler Murray, is he still a rookie? No. My bad. Anyway, my point is that Justin Herbert's going to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and
that's the quarterback for the Chargers.
And that's quarterback for the Chargers. That's why I think Parham's doing so well is because Justin Herbert is really good. He is really good.
Yeah.
And of course, he's
coached by former XFL, head coach
Pep Hamilton.
That's the other question. Now that the Chargers let the coach go, right? Do you think Pep's long for the world over at the Chargers, or do you think he's going to get shaken out too?
I think he's got to stay. I think they should bring him back. I mean, I know assistants normally get fired when the head coach gets fired, but dude, he's done great with Justin Herbert. If the Chargers are smart, they keep him at least, and they maybe keep him and the quarterback coach there in. I'm trying not to say San Diego. It's so hard because it's It's hard still getting used to the fact that they're Los Angeles Chargers, all things considered. But if you're the Chargers, I think you keep Pep. You make sure the next coach, whoever that might be, keeps Pep Hamilton, because look what he's done with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, really developed him into a good talent. But anyway, so I just had that question. He was part of the MVP. He had, I think he had 3 TDs for the year. I had the link here. 3 TDs for the year. I wish they would have gone to him more early on, but maybe it's this slow hand kind of thing, slow build. They're really kind of seeing how he's going to do rookie coming in, but he looks good.
If they had gone to him more and he got more touchdowns, then we could have this conversation that he might have done better than PJ Walker, but PJ Walker did lead his team to a win. And that puts the tip of the cap of my cap in PJ's camp for this one. Sorry.
That's all right. And then Storm Norton also with the Chargers. He's a popular XFL guy, and he's done a good year too. So it's been good for the Chargers. It's good for the XFL and players going over there. So,
former XFL. What was the situation with this Bailey Carlin? I saw you going back and forth with this person on Twitter. What's that situation about?
Yeah, so Bailey, he works for Barstool Sports now. He used to run the social media for the XFL, and then he got laid off with everybody. And he had posted on, was it like Saturday, Sunday? I think it was over the weekend. He goes, "Hey, I was cleaning out my office. I found this old XFL employee notebook. Like, would anyone want it?" And I guess like 1 million people, messaged him and they're like, "We want it." He goes, "All right, well, I'll go list it on eBay and then I'll give the money to charity." And so someone bought it. I asked Bailey if he would come on. He didn't, maybe he just doesn't really want to talk about the XFL anymore. Sold for $91. Someone paid for a used XFL. Huh?
Was it you?
No, it wasn't me. No, Dorothy, it wasn't me. Because when I messaged him about it, I go, "Hey man, did that thing ever sell?" And he goes, "Yeah, but the guy hasn't paid yet." I think he was like insinuating that maybe I wanted to buy it. I'm like, no. But I did tell him, like, if Heinicke hadn't been, the potential playing for Washington, and if Wolford wasn't potentially in for the Rams, this could have been the lead story this week. So I mean, on any given Sunday and any other week, the XFL former employees selling their notebook, but. It's cool. I mean, whatever, some XFL mark. I mean, $100 for it with shipping.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get it. I mean, I didn't buy it, but I don't know.
You would like to have it. Admit it. You would have it. You just hang it in your collection. By the way, I see that you have a Kraken flag now hanging up.
Yeah, on the video podcast, Mama Markcast got me a Kraken fan rally towel for Christmas, so we got that hanging up. So we add that to the collection. I was going to wear my PJ Walker jersey today in anticipation that in celebration of him playing on Sunday, but he threw the picks, so I got my John Cena old school John Cena jersey on today. So.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah. But no, I would have bought the XFL. Like, I'm a fan of stuff I can wear. Like, what am I going to do with an XFL notebook? Like, you're just going to put it. I mean, you're not going to use it, right? I mean,
I guess I'm different. Where I don't know if let me show you what I got here.
Okay, Paul's going. Paul's never stepped away from the podcast before. Paul's picking up something. This is a rare feat. Oh yeah, Paul got a jersey this week. He got it signed. He's very excited. I'm commenting now for people listening on the podcast. We're seeing the Paul's Last Days of Dixie's documentary movie. I have a film credit on that documentary, and then his NBA Jam cabinet as well. Paul, who is that signed jersey by that you were showing off?
Martin Brodeur, the GOAT of hockey goalkeepers. Don't even come in my mentions and say Patrick Roy. Patrick Waugh was better. They created a rule for Martin Brodeur. So my friend Alma helped procure that autographed jersey from a Hall of Fame goalie. So
it's great.
It's gonna be hanging in the office with all the other stuff that hangs in my house and apartment. That Reid always gives me crap for never cleaning. So
that's good. It's good. Yeah, I saw that. That was a great segment. It was good to see more of your office. I appreciate you giving us a little tour there. So that was fun.
Yeah. Picked up the jersey off the stool that it's sitting on because I'm still waiting to hang it right here in the office. So let's do this real quick. Let's breeze through a couple more signings. Of course, the Buffalo Bills signing Tanner Gentry, who was a New York Guardian. He also played with Josh Allen at Wyoming.
Yes, Josh Allen. It's all connected.
It's all connected. We also got the San Francisco 49ers have signed former Dragons wide receiver Austin Proehl, Ricky Proehl's kid, to a futures contract.
Yeah, he got signed to the practice squad or whatever last week, and so they've kind of moved that along. So that's exciting. We love seeing. There was a couple others this week. Again, if you want to keep up on all the XFL signings, Mike Mitchell's the guy to go to. I just see the ones that kind of that come across my timeline. But by Mike Mitchell is great. He's doing the Lord's work, covering all the XFL to the XFL guys going to the NFL. So.
Cool.
One note. Yeah, I'll cut you off about. There was a XFL News Hub. We get featured on their website. They did a big end of the year countdown, and one of their top 10 moments of the year was us joining the crew, and that was very exciting. I thought that was nice, Mark. Thank you so much. I got to tell you this, Paul, and this is a funny connection, and you'll get a kick out of this. So first off, Mark, thank you for inviting us onto your website and including us in your thing. So this week on Week in Review, Mark, I don't think he records drunk, but he had Chris Jericho, a little bit of the bubbly champagne bottle, right? And because it was like after New Year's and he was talking about this. So Paul knows all about Chris Jericho, AEW, former world champion. He has his own champagne now. It's called a little bit of the bubbly because when he won the AEW title, he says, I'm going to have a little bit of the bubbly. And so Mark was on the thing. And so, we have similar listeners, right? Hopefully, people that listen to XFL Week in Review. And so Jack Stevens, one of our number one fans, right? No surprise that Jack would also be a fan of XFL Week in Review. And so Mark was talking, the last 45 seconds of Mark's podcast every week is gold because it's just kind of like him rambling about stuff at the end before he says goodbye. And he was speculating about when he should open up. He has another little bit of the bubbly. And he was saying, should I open it up when they announce the TV contracts for the XFL? Should I open it when they get, whatever? And he goes, hey, Jack Stevens, I hope you had a little bit of the bubbly too for the New Year's. I go, Mark, Jack's 12 years old.
Right.
Down. I mean, Jack, I love you. I'm sure he's watches everything. We're big fans. Well, I'm like, Mark, let's simmer it down a little bit at the end of the podcast by encouraging underage children to be consuming alcohol. So I did think you would get a little bit of a kick out of that. It's a funny world we live in. But yeah, a little bit of the bubbly. Chris Jericho, he is my GOAT wrestler. Don't at me. Yes.
Oh, hi, Mark.
There you go.
All right, taking a break right now. We'll come back, talk some TSL, talk some fan controlled football right after this. And we're back. TSL stuff. Hey, when are you getting the merch, man? What's happening?
Kenny messages me every week. Hey, when's the Jouster stuff? So I sent Brian Woods a message. I wished him a happy New Year's. And I said, hey, I hope you guys are getting ready, for the spring season. Please, keep us in line, in mind if you have any. Excuse me, got too much Mountain Dew going on there. Please keep us in mind if you have, any news that you want. And he says that they're working on finalizing the TV deals. They're going to be getting ready here to announce soon. So for, fans of the Spring League, we obviously have Brian Scott, QB on. We are also talking, wishing a Merry Christmas. If you are interested in any of that stuff, it's going to be coming back soon. Brian's working on the TV deals. And then hopefully, we can get him back on the podcast or someone else. But yeah, I didn't want to be like, hey, where's the merch? But I was like, hey, Happy New Year's from XFL Markcast. Hope, all is well in the world. So we'll see. We're still working on it. I'm hoping for a box. I told you, anytime a package comes to the house, Dorothy goes, is that the Brian Woods? Is that Brian's? Is that Brian's stuff?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Anyway, we're still waiting on the Jouster stuff, but yeah, Spring League's coming back. They're working on everything, and that'll be exciting. We'll have fan control. We'll have the spring. I mean, we have a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about covering kind of football stuff that's actually happening. I know we're the XFL Markcast. Obviously, we cover the XFL, but it is nice to be covering leagues that are happening with footballs being thrown. So that's also exciting.
All right, so some signings. The Generals defensive back Channing Stribling has signed with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, I believe, not Tie Cats, just Tiger Cats.
Yes.
And then the Generals kicker, I'm not going to try to pronounce this guy's name. I think I butchered it.
Hiram
Hajirulu.
Yes, there you go.
Re-signed by the Panthers again. I don't know why, because the season's over. but apparently he was originally released due to visa issues. Those have now been resolved, so maybe he gets some serious playing time in Carolina next year.
Yeah, they're talking about a lot of these guys like being signed. It kind of gets them like first line in the practice squads over the summer. So it's kind of like you don't have to go through maybe that, you're still going to try out and kind of go through all that, but at least you're kind of got your foot in the door of that kind of stuff. So that's why if people are doing signings right now, that's what's going on with that.
Got it. Conqueror's offensive lineman Cameron Jefferson has re-signed with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So there you go. And the Blues defensive back Rodney Randall Jr. has signed with the Alouettes from Montreal. So there you go. There's some spring league signings.
Lots of stuff. Yeah, for the CFL, we're going to be covering that. I think that they're going to be kicking off in June around that time. So, we're still going to be doing the XFL stuff. And then we got fan control football, which we're going to get into next. They're launching here in just a couple weeks. They're Patrick and the guys, they're in Atlanta now, like in the bubble, kind of establishing everything. So that's going to be kicking off. I think that's going to kind of lead us through, February, March, April-ish, and then we'll start getting into like CFL stuff, and then hopefully the spring league in there. So just so you guys know kind of where my mind's going, I do think we're going to have a lot of football stuff, hopefully, to cover here leading into June, which is when all the XFL stuff is supposed to drop. So.
And with that, WNBA's Renee Montgomery has joined Marshawn Lynch as the co-owner of the Beasts in the Fantasy Fan Control Football League.
Yeah, this is a big deal. I think it was kind of an oversight first that they didn't have any female ownership at all before this. I think that was definitely something that we had talked about when we kind of ran down the team owners before. And I do think that was an oversight, and I'm glad that they corrected that. But Renee is a WNBA champ. She's won 2 of the last 6 WNBA women's championships for Minnesota in 2015 and 2017. And she seems really game to play. We've been chatting a lot online, and she seems, good to promote. Because the second they came on, I said, well, great. They finally found someone that's not a coward for the Beast that can actually go on social media and promote the team. And she goes, oh, yeah, I'm here. Like, da. So she seems, she was very, very involved in the WNBA Georgia Senator stuff.
Yeah.
All that, whatever. So I think she was a little busy this week, and then we're going to try to get her on, or at least get, chatting some more about that stuff. But it's good. It's good to get another, female voice on there.
And to that point, we're talking about the Georgia elections and stuff like that, how Renee Montgomery was a lot of the players from the Dream in Atlanta. This is not a well-known, it could be well-known at this point, but Kelly Loeffler, the senator from Georgia that was recently defeated in her runoff race. Of course, I don't know if you guys knew this, but before Warnock, when Warnock was running in the primaries, he was polling at 9%. And the players from Loeffler's team wore shirts that said "Vote Warnock." And that ended up boosting his profile to a point where he had a runoff with Loeffler and beat her last Tuesday in the runoff election. And now there's talk about the WNBA trying to get the Atlanta Dream away from Kelly Loeffler and have another ownership group take over there. And Renee Montgomery is rumored to be in the running to become part owner of the Dream.
It's all connected.
Which would be a great jump for, these WNBA teams. I'm not too familiar with who owns them, but I'm pretty sure that Renee Montgomery becoming a part of the ownership team for a WNBA team would be historic in the sense of that. So it's very interesting. Renee Montgomery seems like a great person, seems like she's very aware on and trying to get the word out about social issues. And it's probably the perfect person that the Fan Controlled Football League could bring into their ownership group. So we want to congratulate her on that.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like I said, happy to have it on. I think here's what I think with the fan controlled stuff. I think they're walking a fine line with some of these owners, right? And maybe I want to get your thoughts on this too, where it's like, okay, we want big names, but then we also need people that are going to promote it. And so, because they're not like they're owners, they're not owning, like they're like they're like owning the team, like hypothetically, right? And so, like, and we make fun of Miro or whatever, but like Miro,
he's a coward.
He's besides being a coward, he's also like a pretty high profile wrestler, right? And like,
And a streamer now. Like I would venture to say that he's got 1 million followers on Twitch, I believe.
And so you get these guys that where it's like, you need to have a good balance of someone that's big enough, but is actually going to promote it. And I'm not saying like Renee is not big, right? But there's levels of whatever. And you can have, you can be like Greg Miller. They own Wild Aces and he's got 1 million followers, but he is active and promoting stuff. And then you can have people like Marshawn Lynch. And yeah, that's a really great name, right? And he probably doesn't have to do anything to promote anything, but I mean, he's, retweeted like one thing about Fan Control Football, same with Miro. Hey, vote for whatever. And so I haven't seen, for it being this close to the season, I haven't seen a lot of these guys and Renee now girl, she's been different. She's, really come on hot and heavy. I just haven't seen a lot of these guys promoting it. And that's just my 2 cents. I mean, take it for what it is, but I would like to think if we were getting, Richard Sherman, haven't seen him post, Marshawn, barely done anything. A lot of these guys,
Quavo posted? Has Quavo posted at all about his team?
I haven't. I've seen, Bob Memory, I can never say that name. He was the one that got Johnny Manziel. They were in Texas, I believe. He was there with Ray Austin. I just saw Fan Control Football News post on Twitter that they were shooting some promo videos with Johnny Manziel, just if anyone wanted an update about, Johnny's still with the league, right? He got signed last week with the Zappers and he was doing some stuff with Ray Austin, who's the commissioner. But anyway, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, about getting like the big names, but people that would actually promote the thing?
I think that, it's great to have the big names, but it needs to be, those big names need to promote it. If they're not promoting it, what's the point of having them around? And I think that's the reason why they've brought these people into these ownership groups, is in hopes that they promote it. But I'm not seeing much promotion from anyone but Renee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just being serious. And like I said, I could be way off on this, but what's the point of having all these followers, right? If you're not gonna use it, and obviously you don't want to like bombard the thing and be, it's a fine line, right? You want to be cool and you get all your whatever, but I would have to imagine that they would wish that they would see a little bit more promotion from some of these teams. Because the Beast, like, if you look at like Twitter followers, like the Beast have like 200 followers compared to like the Wild Aces have like 1,500 or 2,000 or whatever, because they have people on their team that are promoting it. So,
exactly. Unfortunate news here. John Petit, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He passed away. He was the VP of football operations for the Fan Control Football.
Yeah, saw him. No, they posted this week. They said that he was instrumental in getting everything off the ground. He's been with them from the beginning when they were doing the arena stuff. They're going to have all the players are going to be wearing JP stickers on their helmets for the season, and John helmets that John sourced, designed for help from his family, a tribute to the man that helped us get to this point. They want to make sure that every athlete and every fan knows that John helped build this league. Really unfortunate. COVID related things happened is what the story was. And you got to imagine that's just heartbreaking, coming through Christmas, getting ready, you've worked so hard to have this league come out and then have that happen right before everything's going. I mean, just truly heartbreaking for them. And our, thoughts and prayers go out to John and his family and everyone involved with that. It definitely sounds like it's a hard situation.
Definitely want to give our thoughts out to his family, his friends, and of course, everyone at the Fan Control Football League.
Yeah. The last note I saw today, it seems like the Fan Control is getting some more sponsors involved. Mm-hmm. They signed on, I cannot pronounce any of these names.
Channelize. Sounds like kind of like a one-on-one Zoom experience, like a Cameo type experience, where they're going to give you access to your favorite players through post-game virtual meet and greets. Interesting.
Yeah. And then Amiibo is going to be, they're going to Fan Control. They signed with them. They're going to be doing this weird immersive 3D stuff. Kind of sounds like what Apple's doing with that, like, you can hold your phone here and then you can move. What is that called? The new thing on there? Spatial audio awareness. And then they're going to have this earbuds, and it's going to help you with like owners with their curated playlists and all that stuff. Again, this is all like really great stuff, and this is great for a press release. And I'm sure that they're getting some money to be, mentioning these people and whatever. But I haven't seen a lot of like, I want to see more player news. I've seen a lot of like Fan Control Football has done a good job, like tweeting a lot of like, hey, these people have signed. But now, hopefully, now that we're getting into the bubble and the getting all the teams and the everyone signed and figured out, I just want to see a lot more of that stuff. Like, I don't care. They're going to have drones in the building. They're going to have helmet cams. They're going to have this spatial audio. I don't really know if I care about a lot of that. Right?
There's a lot of bells and whistles going on. Not enough meat on the bones, so to speak.
It's like WWE with Thunderdome, right? You can spend, millions of dollars making this wall thing. WWE now, they don't have fans. They wrestle in front of this like weird, they have all these people zoom in on these screens. And that's like really cool for the first week or the first hour or whatever. And then you really get used to it. And I feel like that's a lot with this fan controlled stuff, like with the drone. That's going to be cool. Like the first time they do that, you're going to be like, that's awesome. But like now that you watch the NFL and they have the sky cam and all that, like you just assume all that's going to be a part of it. You need to have football stuff on the field, and that's what I'm hoping.
All right, we got to take another commercial break. Our podcast distributor wants us to put a spot in here, so we're going to do that. We're going to come back and we're going to do our garbage segment. And we're back.
Do you see this top story? So this is our garbage news segment. This is
before we get to this, like you really wanted to discuss branding this segment, the Red Sox.
Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into all that. I guess maybe we should start with that. That's great. We'll save the breaking news. So your co-host, Will of Will House, he tweeted this week, and I think this is a great idea. He said, we need to brand this segment. We kind of call it the garbage segment. It's kind of the leftovers. It's Reid's Tidbits. Dorothy had a name for it. I can't remember now. Also, she wanted us to talk about this documentary this week. I took it off because everything happened in the world. Well, no, we're going to do it, but just like the world fell apart yesterday. And so we're going to get to that. But Will suggested that we brand the segment. And so what I want to do is, if you are a fan of this, I hear that we have fans that listen to this show, people follow all this stuff, comment on the YouTube video or comment on Twitter. I want to get some suggestions and I want to do a poll. So like Reid's Tidbits of Joy would probably be like my vote.
The stuff that fills out the Google Doc that annoys Paul would be my vote.
That would be one. And then Will suggested the Red Sox because you are a Yankees fan and you
Red Sox are garbage. Yes.
So that's a good one. So Will listens. So please, and just remind me, I'll do a thing. We'll do a poll, but I do think this segment would benefit from some branding. And then maybe like a fun sound effect, like if we have like a toilet flush or something. I don't know what you have in your magical. I know you have the soundboard.
I do. We'll find something.
So Reid's tidbit. But for this week, it's going to be Reid's Tidbits of Joy. And the first longtime fans of the show will know. Earlier this year on now we are in the Bachelor season, also known as the Matchelor, because the guy's name is Matt Jones. He's the new Bachelor. He's a stunningly good-looking man, and he just.
I can't believe you're so into this show, by the way. But keep going.
Well, it's something for the wife. we watched Borat 2 over the break, and something for my wife, and but earlier this season on the Bachelorette, there was a man named Chase and Nick. And he was basically Brandon Silver's, stunt double. They were the same person. They were, Brandon Silver's, the QB of the Seattle Dragons, was parading around the La Quinta Resort in Palm Springs on The Bachelorette. Jason Nick, the man that was on The Bachelorette, had COVID. And that is why he was not at the Women Tell All celebration at the end of the season. I just thought that was astounding.
And now he's got COVID.
Well, he's good now. I mean, he's all clear, but he had it. Yeah, he doesn't have it now. He had it. That's why he couldn't do the Women Tell All. I messaged him a well wishes message. Still would love to get Jason on the podcast. He's not on Twitter, but I wrote him on Instagram. I said, hey, now that the Bachelorette is done, could you go ahead and get on book Cameo, or can I just book you like a normal guest? Because I still really want to talk to Chase and Nick.
We'll figure out a way to make that happen. We'll definitely figure out a way to make that happen. Moving on, though. Holy cow, this fight between Tulsa and Mississippi State.
Yeah, save these links.
I think this happened like the day we released the podcast, right?
It always does. Please save these links so I remember to add them on. Yeah, it's like the Friday night games, right? Like we always miss like the Cheddar Bowl and the Goldfish Bowl and the Mayonnaise Bowl, and then this thing. It was. I mean, they were throwing punches. This fight.
And then I'm going to say the best part. I think the worst part was that you had players streaming Instagram live stories behind in the locker room afterward, and they were like cheering about them getting in a fight with these players. They're like, I slapped this guy around, and they were using profanity, of course. And I was like, there might be a culture issue at Mississippi State.
Yeah,
there might be a little bit of an issue with some tempers, because they were relishing the fact that they got in this fight. The players were relishing it.
Yeah, the guy kicked the guy. I saw it kick the guy in the face, ran away. I mean, it was like it wasn't like.
It was ugly.
It was like they were throwing big punches. Yeah.
And I know like Mike Leach is not the warmest human being. He can be kind of gruff and a jerk. And I don't know if that's the situation that Mike Leach has kind of instituted this culture, but they seemed really proud of themselves in the locker room afterward. And I was just thinking, God, this is nothing to be proud of.
No.
Nothing to be proud of. But something you can be proud of. Alvin Kamara was fined $5,000 for his red and green Christmas cleats. Of course, if you're not familiar with Alvin Kamara, you probably don't play fantasy football, and you either had your season completely ruined by him or completely saved by him because he went off in everyone's championship game.
Yeah, for the Christmas. This is what I hear they call Vince McMahon himself famously called the NFL the no fun league when he started the first XFL back in 2000. And they fined him. He had red and green Christmas cleats. They fined him $5,000. I mean, come on.
But then he turned around and donated another $5,000 to charity.
Well, I mean,
in response to them being fined. And I thought that was a good idea. I was like, that's nice.
Well, someone put, when I saw the tweet, they go, I want to know where all this money goes. All these little like stupid fines, throwing the football in the stands gets you like a $6,000 fine, and the cleats and stuff. I mean, that's just crazy.
Like Alvin Kamara, I can't get over that game that he had when he tied the record for most the
Christmas. This one when he got the cleats. This is the one.
Yeah. It was a massive performance. 6 touchdowns. Yeah, 6 touchdowns.
6 tied.
And
could have been.
You 7. Have to talk about.
Could have been 7.
Alvin Kamara did graduate from the University of Tennessee, but he was at Alabama for a while, and Alabama was stacked. I mean, they have so many running backs in the NFL. It's just crazy. And of course, their wide receiver just won the Heisman too. So, yeah. All right, moving on. I don't know what it had to do with anything, but I just wanted to throw that in there.
That's good. I don't know if this video is going to translate at all to the podcast, this one about The Rock. So I'll play it, and then I don't even know. I guess I'll put the audio in. Do you want to play it? Can you play it? And then I'll try to sync up the audio.
Dude. Okay. Reid, I have clown phobia, right?
Oh, I didn't. Is there a clown in there? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. I wasn't trying to give you PTSD.
I was like sitting there going, okay, now I have to edit the audio. I have to beep out the 2 F words in the Rage Against the Machine song. Thanks for that. And then all of a sudden I see this clown pop up and I'm like frozen in fear for a second. Then I have to cover the screen.
Okay.
Thanks, Reid.
So, well, the context is the video is funny because it's like The Rock posts all these like, I'm going to beat you up social media. He's all dripping in sweat. He's pumping iron. And then it's like the guy behind him that's like filming the videos. And I thought it was wildly funny. And The Rock retweeted it. So that's another way to get retweeted by The Rock is make funny videos with clowns that scare Paul.
Yeah, please. Don't do that anymore.
Sorry. I probably didn't even watch the whole video. I just added it to the thing.
Like, seriously, I'm cringing. Okay. I can't believe. Like, there's Circus Liquor in North Hollywood that I drive by every occasionally. I just have to turn my head because it's a big flipping clown.
Sorry.
I had to turn my head like this and drive like at a 90-degree angle. It's nuts.
This is a true story. Paul and I were down at the Yard House in LA by Staples Center before one of the WWE pay-per-views. And I found out about this. I didn't know that Paul had a clown phobia. And I went to the bathroom and I thought it was funny. So I texted him like a clown emoji. And I came out of the bathroom and Paul was ready to like take my face off.
It's and people, it's real. And people are like, oh, is it because of it? I'm like, no, it's not because of it. It was like this music video when I was a kid by Level 42. They had a clown in the music video, and the way the clown was gesturing and stuff freaked me out for life. And I can't with clowns.
Sorry, Paul. I really swear I wasn't trying to. I really swear.
I believe you didn't watch that video all the way through.
Yes,
I really believe that. Because had you watched that video, you're like, this might not be the best idea to do. So
this last video, you knew I would do this. Paul tweeted the other day, the guy pouring the milk on himself at Walmart. I played this to Dorothy. She thought it was wildly funny. I go, Paul, are you nominating stuff now to put on the Google Doc?
I'm not. I was going to save this for Will House, but I guess you can play it while we're talking.
Yeah,
about
I'll
this.
play it. He's singing when he's pouring the video. Do you know what he's singing when he pours?
He's singing Milkshake by Khalees.
Yeah, it took me. It takes you a couple listens. My milkshake brings all the voice of the. And I think he swears a lot in this too. He says some off-colored remarks.
Yeah, this is.
What is happening?
Pandemic.
I know, right? I mean, this would be bad enough in like 2015. I mean, this is crazy for 2020, 2021, whenever this.
Yeah, we're in the middle of pandemic, and this guy just posted this video for clout. He's like, I just want to do something for clout.
That was it?
Yeah. He's even says it to the cameras, like, all for clout.
Oh, I didn't know if it was like a fraternity, like hazing thing or something.
It seemed like it, right?
Yeah.
But he was like, all for clout.
I did like when he jumped off and he fell and slipped into his butt.
Yeah.
I thought that
when he ate crap, that was the best part of the video. And with that being said,
that's it. I just wanted to make sure we got that in today. Sorry, Paul. I really wasn't trying to terrify you. I feel terrible.
Okay. It's all right. We're going to wrap up on that segment.
Yeah.
We got to go. Thanks for listening again. Of course, xflshow.com/review to leave us a review. We're redesigning the merch right now because of the issues we've had with our distributor, but we'll have that up soon at xflshow.com/merch. And we want to thank you all again for listening.
Yeah, just stay safe out there. Thanks. And, we appreciate you spending your time with us today. We try to bring a little levity to the world. So,
yep. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Thanks.